us, the older ones, clearly know, I mean, he's a bit quiet these days, but most of us know who this amazing, distinguished gentleman is. He first auctioned for the American Negro Theater. He flunked his lines and spoke in a very heavy Caribbean accent, which made the director angrily to tell him to stop wasting his time and to go get a job as a dishwasher. But Poitier worked on his craft and eventually became a hugely successful Hollywood star. He won an Academy Award for Best Actor in The Lilies of the Field, which came out in 1963, and which helped to break down the color barrier in the American film industry. The megastar Jay-Z, which all the young folks, the youths, know about, could not get any record label to sign him up. Now, growing up in massive projects in Brooklyn, Jay-Z worked to perfect his flow, his rhythm, his lyrics. When he couldn't get a single bite on his first CD, he and his friends sold the record out of the boot of their car. Now, besides his music, he's also a major entrepreneur, worth over $550 million, according to Forbes. What a failure. Here's another great failure. J.K. Rowling, who most people who follow the Harry Potter series will have heard that name. Those series were then turned into mega blockbuster Hollywood films. Now, she may be rolling in it today, but you need to have heard her story. All right, before succeeding with Harry Potter, which has gone on to sell millions of books around the world. But before hitting the jackpot, she was nearly penniless, severely depressed, divorced, trying to raise a child on her own while attending school and writing a novel. Rowling went from depending on welfare to survive to becoming one of the world's richest women. Last I checked, she was worth about $1 billion. Okay, what a failure. Another great world famous failure is the iconic Michael Jordan. Okay, he probably is the greatest basketball player of all time. He was dropped by his high school team. Luckily, Jordan didn't allow this setback to stop him from playing the game he loved so much. Here's a quote from him, which is equally world famous. He said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and this is why I am a success." Wow. What about Oprah, who needs no introduction? A billionaire in her own right, with her own TV channel, and a penchant for giving away extravagant gifts, cars and all kinds, holidays and all kinds of things, money, homes, all kinds of things Oprah gives away. Whilst reflecting on her experiences recently during a Harvard commencement speech she was giving last year, she said, "There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just trying to move us in another direction. Failure is trying to move you in another direction of travel. Because the direction you've been headed or you've been going for so long is not working or doesn't work. Failure makes you to stop and take stock and think and task your mind to seek another way of doing what you've been doing and filling in, so that you can move towards eventual success. That's what failure does. What about Steven Spielberg? His cinematic output has grossed more than $9 billion. This guy's a genius. He has brought in 3 Academy Awards, but the master of the blockbuster series was rejected twice by the University of Southern California of Cinematic Arts. Imagine that. As their way of saying, oops, sorry, Steven Spielberg, we were wrong about you. The school has now built a building in his honor. And I'll stop with Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's failure is legendary. This is a chap who went to war as a captain and came back from war as a private, demoted. You talk about failure? You leave for war with your stripes. As a captain, you're coming back with your tail in between your legs, demoted to private. Lincoln's story is world famous. Today, he's one of the 3 greatest presidents ever who ever presided over the affairs of America. Lincoln was acquainted with deep sorrows, deep failures, death of his sweetheart, failed how many times running for political office. If you haven't read his story, you need to go check out Abraham Lincoln's story. But today, he stands tall in all the monuments that have been erected for him. He stands all over America as one of their greatest presidents who ever lived. Just one more. Stephen King, master blockbuster writer. In another instance, in the never-ending series, book publishers making dumb decisions. Can you imagine? Stephen King sold millions of books. Mega novelist. He had his first book, Carrie, rejected 30 times. Dejected, King dumped the book in the trash. But a faithful wife found the book, retrieved it from the trash, pleaded with him, implored him to resubmit the book, which led to his first book deal and spawned his illustrious career. If you haven't heard the name Stephen King, just Google him. You'll be amazed. Let me say this to you. If you are looking to achieve or accomplish anything of significance in life, let me announce this very clearly to you. You are going to fail. Yes, you heard me right. I'm not putting a curse on you. I am just telling you, you are going to fail. Because the only way you can perfect your craft, the only way you can reveal your genius is through failing. You've got to fail first. Because failure will tell you where you are headed is not the right direction. The way you are doing it is not the way you're supposed to do it. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Before looking to give the world the beauty of the dreams you are carrying, you've got to perfect it, you've got to cut it, you've got to polish it, so that the brilliance comes forth. Failure helps you do that. The world's greatest probably motivational speaker, Les Brown, was labeled dumb, stupid, and uneducable by his teachers. They said he was dumb to pack it all in. Les Brown went on to do great things. Now, it's one thing when you come from pure poverty, struggling to eat, to be fed by his single mother, And then you go to school and you are told in school that you are dumb, you are stupid, and you are uneducable, that it's impossible for you to learn. Today, Les Brown is advising governments. Today, Les Brown is advising captains of industry. He is advising world famous CEOs on how to run their corporations. Somebody who was told was uneducable, could not learn, and was stupid. I think recent estimate is worth probably about just under $70 million from his illustrious career, from being told you are nothing to rising against the odds. You too can do the same thing. The key thing to remember is you've got to fail forward. Failure is an opportunity to go back and look at how to do it better than you did it before. Failure is looking for the right way to do something that you thought could not be done again. Failure truly means somebody who has given up. The only time you can truthfully call yourself a failure is if you refuse to get back up. Then you are a failure. As long as you keep getting back up and headed back in the direction that you've predetermined to travel in, nobody can call you a failure. Whether you were a student looking to pass your exams, your grades were poor, but now you are determined to do it a better way. You need to start speaking to fellow students. Look around you and look at those who are getting better results in school. How are you able to get A-star grades, A grades? What are you doing to get such wonderful grades?